Hi, everybody. Judy Tuttle here from Tuttle Up Stamping. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Midland, Texas, and I'm ready to tuttle up with you today and get some crafty stamping on. We have some fabulous projects for you. These are the last two projects of our 8 projects for this month's craft along. It has been crazy, right? I've gone live on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and now we're finishing up today with our final 2 projects. And today's projects are using the Tractor and Company bundle. I'm going to put my hands down here and let you see it. Okay, so you get the dies that coordinate with the stamp set and die cuts everything that you see except for the sentiments, right? The wheels, the tractors, the trees. And we even got some extra trees, some extra pieces. We got hubcaps here. Hi, Jan. Hi, Sharon. Thanks for joining me. And so many pieces. A seat, right? Like everything. So Tractor and Company bundle is an online exclusive, as well as this paper. So everybody that took the craft along got half a pack of our Need for Tweed designer series paper. It has a very farmy feel to it, I think. And so they got a half a pack of that. They also got a whole package of our textured dots. Actually, they got a half a package because my order didn't come in. So I'm sending them the rest of them this week. And our red and white baker's twine, a whole roll of this. You can see I've used a lot of it already. In addition, they got a full color PDF. Hi, Carolyn. How are you? Thanks for joining me. A full color PDF. I thought I saw Becky Hall jump in, but I don't see a comment. So maybe they just told me you were here, Becky. Full color PDF, right, of all the instructions, everything that we've made. And then earlier this week, we did 4 projects using the Jolly Holly, right? And we made this box, and inside this box is a bed and bath and body works. This is really White Barn. I don't know what the difference between the two. They're always next door to each other and connected. So this full body of hand soap fits inside this box. We created this cute little box. We also created 3 cards using the Jolly Holly. And the people who got it ahead of time got this gold ribbon, got the cherry cobbler and clear berries and dots. And we showed you how that embossing folder, that hybrid embossing folder, just creates this awesome technique right here. Hi, Emily. Thanks for joining me. So these were the 4 projects from the Holly Jolly bundle. That was the first half of our craft along. And now these are the 2 cards we made yesterday. And what I loved about this one, not this one, but I love them both. But it's your birthday. Hey, 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 it's your birthday. I love that. Hi, Linda. Thanks for joining me. And then this is the inside of that card. And what I love about this tractor one is because I wanted a way to look like the tractor was pulling the trailer through a cornfield. So I created this fun fold card that has the baker's twine, and it looks like it's pulling that trailer through that cornfield. So I hope you guys liked those projects from yesterday. So today we are creating another fun fold card. And this one is the same Tractor and Company, but it has a little bit more of a Christmas feel to it. So this has a belly band on it like this, and it pulls off, and it opens up, and it has the Christmas trees in the trailer on the inside. Isn't that a cute card? I love that. I know, Becky, you have been such a blessing this week. Thank you so much Becky ordered this. You can still get this kit in the mail of all 8 projects and all the product. I have a link to that up in the description. I'll put together you a kit with all the same product everybody else got ahead of time, but you'll get it just a little bit later, right? That's all there is to that. Okay, so today's project card, and then we have an awesome little box for you as well. Okay, so this is our card we're going to be making right now. I'm going to pull all my pieces out here, and I'm going to do a little adjustment, and we're going to see if we like it or not. So I'm gonna adjust it just a tiny bit. I don't know, I felt like that tree looked a little lonely on the front, so we're gonna see if we can spruce that up a little bit here. All right, so I have let me pull all my pieces over here to the side. We don't need any of this yet. I just need my card base here. Okay, so we have a piece of cherry cobbler. Oh my goodness, let me move all these pieces over. Just wait till you see all the pieces on the next project. Holy cow. Okay, so I have a piece of cherry cobbler, and this piece is 5.5 by 11. Okay, and it's scored at 1 3/4, 5.5, and 9 3/4. 1 3/4, 5.5, and 9 3/4. Okay, so the people who got this in the craft along, I already cut and scored this for them. Okay, now next I have some DSP pieces. I have this panel that I cut for the inside, the top, and it is 3.5 by 5 1/4. And it's going to go right here on this panel. Let me grab my Seal Plus here. So you guys will have to come back this afternoon. I know that's a lot of me to watch, but I have a sweet special guest coming, and we're going to do a project at 2 o'clock today. And I would love it if you guys would at least pop in and say hi, because she would love it if someone saw her on Facebook. So join me back here at 2. It won't last very long, and you will give somebody a thrill who has been begging me all summer long to do a Facebook Live with me. So there we go, this piece. And Linda, I have to tell you, I think it said 1/2 by 5 1/4, but this piece should be 1.5 by 5 1/4. There was a typo on the PDF. So this piece is 1.5 by 5 1/4. This piece is 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then we have one more panel here that is 1 inch by 5 1/4, and we're going to use the opposite side of that DSP right there. Okay, isn't it pretty how those all kind of coordinate and look very much like a Christmas card, right? Which is the whole point. Okay, so next month, you guys heard me talk about this yesterday, we are doing the Jar of Joy for our craft along, and you're getting half a pack of that Birds of Winter DSP, and the peppermint embellishments, and what ribbon? Oh, the gold and silver trim ribbon. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the inside of the card here, because I want to be able to put it inside my card. So on this card right here, we are going to stamp the trailer in cherry cobbler ink. And it's going to go right here in the bottom corner, like that. And then I'm going to stamp my trees. I need to get those out of here. I put them away just a second ago when I was doing the pumpkins. So Let me take the pumpkins off of this and put the trees on here. I'm going to stamp my trees in old olive ink right on top of that trailer. And it's going to go a little bit off the edge, but that's okay. There we go. I think I got it all on there. And then I have pre-stamped and die cut the wheels for this. And I have 2 small wheels that I stamped on basic beige. And I'm going to adhere them right here on my trailer. And I think I'm even going to use dimensionals on the inside. I know, it's going wild here with these dimensionals. It's okay to pop things up on the inside of your card too. There are no rules, right? There are tips, there are hints, but the bottom line is the card is yours, so make it yours, right? Okay, so there's one wheel, and here is my other wheel right here. And then this, I'm going to go ahead and adhere to the inside of my card. I love that this has very much of a farm feel to it. Shoot, I hate when my seal goes weird. Sometimes when it hits us, when you already have something on the front, it hits a weird spot and it just wants to not cooperate, but it's going to be fine. Oh no, I cut this a little too big. Let me cut it down real quick. It needs to be 5 1/4 by 4. Good thing I could fix it before I got it down. I think sometimes I do these kinds of mistakes on purpose to show you how you can correct them if this happens to you. Oh, I'm not sure that's true, but okay, so it'll pop right off of that, trust me. Okay, so this is going to go now on the inside of my card base right here. There we go. Cute, right? Okay, so fun. Now I'm going to fold this all up like this, okay? I have a belly band, and I cut it out of this neutral DSP, and it is 1 inch by 12 inches. So I'm going to wrap it around my card front here. And you don't want it too tight because you want to be able to pull it off. And I'm going to cut the excess off right here. And don't worry about that seam because we are going to cover that up with our arch. So I've cut an arch out of that same color DSP. And this arch, everyday arch, is the one with the 3 inch base. So I'm going to glue this right here on front, right like that. I'm going to add some Seal Plus right here, or maybe even liquid glue. This Seal Plus is being weird. Okay, it'll be fine. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to kind of center that right in the center. Now, you just want to be sure you only put glue on the belly band because you want to be able to slide this off and on like that. Okay, now, we're close to done, believe it or not. I have another everyday arch cut out of basic beige, and this one has a straight end of 2 1/4. Okay, now we're going to do something fancy with this, and you're going to fussy cut or die cut a cloud of some kind. Okay, it says fussy cut a cloud. I actually die cut this cloud out of the Sunrise Sailing die set, okay? So we're going to use this cloud as a kind of a mask. And I'm going to grab my Balmy Blue ink here and my blending brush. Okay, I'm going to add some ink to my brush. I'm going to come off the page, and I'm going to blend over that cloud like that. And look how it makes it look like clouds in the sky. Isn't that crazy? So I'm just going to kind of move it from side to side here. Add a little bit of Balmy Blue at the top and just keep on moving it. That's a cool technique, isn't it? And then just keep moving it wherever you want. Blend some Balmy Blue right over the top edge there. And let me do it one more time here. I think the DSP is going to end up covering this on the bottom. There we go. How cute is that? Looks like little skies up in the clouds up in the sky, skies up in the skies. Okay, so I have a piece of DSP here, and I'm going to use this green side, and this is 2 inches by 1 inch. 2 inches by 1 inch. And I do think that looks like grass or a field. Got a lot of old olive in it. So I'm just going to adhere this now to the bottom of this arch right here. Okay. Now, she had one, this was Jen's design, and I love it. But I was feeling sad for that one little lonely tree. So I'm wondering, I'm going to try it. You know what? It may not work. I'm going to add a couple of extra trees to either side, and we can decide which one we like the best. Okay, so I'm going to put a little tree on the left, kind of hang it off just a little bit to give it some dimension. Another one on the right here. Cute, huh? And then I've got my tree that I'm going to pop up in the center right here. But before I do that, or after, what do I want to do? I'm going to go ahead and pop it up. So I'm going to add some dimensionals on the back of this little tree. And maybe a mini one right up there at the top so it doesn't go off the edge. There we go. And this one is going to get popped up right here, kind of in between those two. I'm going to grab my ribbon. I just showed it to you, so I know it's right here somewhere. Here it is. I'm going to need both of these things, my ribbon and my embellishments. So I'm going to take about 12 inches of ribbon. I'm going to double it up, ribbon. I should say baker's twine. And I'm going to tie a bow, a loose bow. So when you tie a loose bow, you make a loop. You've got the small tail here in front. You're going to loop it around and push a loop into that hole and tie it. Okay, I want this bow to be really small, so I'm going to keep pulling here. I'm going to grab my loops and pull it tight. There we go. And maybe even just a tiny bit smaller, because this is just going to go on top of our tree. There we go. So I'm going to add a glue dot to the top of this. What have you thought about this series? Do you like Tractor and Company? Did I hopefully inspired you with it? So many fun things you can do. I think you're going to love our little 3D project here. Okay, there we go. So added it there with a glue dot. I'm going to add some of these embellishments on the center tree. I'm going to add 5 of them, I think. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, right there. All right. One last thing is that I'm going to take the word Season's Greetings and I'm going to stamp it at the top. Okay, and I'm going to show you both, and we're going to decide, do we like it with 3 trees, or is it pop more with just 1 tree? Or maybe it's just a matter of taste, right? Okay, so Season's Greetings is going right at the top there of those trees, and then all I need to do is pop this on to the front of our arch here. Okay, so I'm going to grab my dimensionals again. I'm going to use my biggies on this. Linda, if you're still there, I want you to tell me if you like it better with 1 tree or 3 trees. I think I gave you enough paper to do more than 1 if you want to. Okay, so here we go. Season's Greetings. Oops, got that on there a little crooked. See if it'll be nice to me and let me move it over a little bit. Let me tell you what, something about dimensionals. You get them down and they don't always want to come up very easily again. So I got lucky on that one. Okay, so there's our last card of this part of our craft along. And tell me, this was the inside, right? So cute. And then tell me, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a single tree or 3 trees? I don't know. They're both cute. So I honestly don't know. I can see how this kind of helps the tree pop a little bit more. This looks a little more foresty, right? So anyway, you guys can give me your opinions on that in the comments if you'd like, if you have an opinion on it. Okay, now our last project is super awesome. And it's something that, hi Imelda. Okay, Imelda, do you like the card with 1 tree highlighted or with 3 trees on it? You'll have to let me know in the comments. So, okay, so this is a project that we're doing for our craft along folks, but honestly, it is something that you could make out of any paper at any time, okay? So, and it's so cool. You're going to love this. Okay, so this is a cool little box that we're making. And the cool thing about the size of this box, right? Carolyn says 1 tree. Sharon says 3. Sherry says 3. Okay, so here's our box, and Imelda says 3. So it's just a matter of taste, right? So the cool thing about this box, you guys, is look, all these cards that I made this week will fit inside this box. Oh, how cool is that? And what a great gift it would be, right? If you made a box like this and put some of your beautiful cards in it, which I know we all have a hard time parting with, and gave it to someone as a gift, right? How cool is that? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to show you how to make this box. How about I just move all of this over to the side right here. I am even going to give you measurements of how to cut and score the box, okay? All right, so I did a lot of the die cutting ahead of time because it took me a while, and I thought nobody out there is going to want to watch all that die cutting, okay? So if you're crafting along with me, just know I'm going to show you how many things I stamped, but I already, There we go. Die cut all my pieces out because it was a lot of back and forth on my die cutting machine. Okay, so look what I used for my box base. I used those cardboard liners that come inside the DSP, okay? This is one of those backing pieces. And this is how you're going to cut it. You're going to... It's okay, Carolyn. We all have our own likes and dislikes, right? Okay, so what I did is I took that backing from the DSP and I cut it down to 10 inches by 12 inches, okay? 10 inches by 12 inches. Can you guys see that? And then on the 10-inch side, I scored it at 2 inches and 8 inches. So here's my 10-inch side right here. I scored it at 2 and at 8, okay? Then this is my 12-inch side right here, and I scored it at 5 and at 7. So we have a 2-inch space right here between these two score lines. And then you're going to cut up those edges to create a tab on either side right here at this 2-inch space, okay? And then our sides here, okay? This is going to be the bottom of our box. These are going to be the sides of our box. So all I have to do is put my box together, okay? I had to think there for a second. So I'm going to grab my Seal Plus because I want a really strong adhesive. You could also use liquid glue. You could also use tear and tape, you know, whatever floats your boat. Okay, so I need to fold my side panels in here. Now think about this box. This box would be great anytime you want to give a whole bunch of cards to somebody because it holds a lot. Okay, so I'm going to fold this back part up and just tuck them into those side tabs there. And then I'm going to put adhesive on the sides of the front here. Okay, it's wanting to... Okay, there we go. I'm going to fold these up and into those other side panels and press it together very well. There we go. There's our box bottom. Isn't that cool how that's just made out of one of the insides backings of our DSP? Okay, so that's our box bottom. Now, our box top is 4 1/8 by 8, and you're going to score it at 1 inches on all 4 sides. Okay, 4 1/8 by 8, score at 1 inches on all 4 sides. So these 4 corners are all squares, right? 1-inch squares. You can see those. We are just going to cut up to the score line like this on both sides. Okay? Turn it, just cut to the score line, cut to the score line. And then I'm going to do what I did on the bottom of the box. On our tabs, we're going to take just a little bit of that thickness out of the edges there. Okay, and we're going to build our box top. So we're going to fold all these pieces to the inside. Okay. And I'm going to add adhesive on all my tabs here, and I'm using Seal Plus. You could use liquid glue or tear and tape. whatever floats your boat. And then you're just going to fold the sides down and the tabs into the sides to create our box tops. I'm going to fold these in and fold this down, making sure I got my right angles going on my sides there. There we go. There's our box top, okay? So this will fit. You have to squeeze it just a tiny bit and it'll make your box, okay? All right, now DSP. For the front and back of our box here, we have two panels that are 5 3/4 inches wide to fit on the front and back, okay? 5 3/4 by 4 3/4. That's how long and high our box is. So I'm going to grab, I think, my liquid glue on this. And I'm using the side that has the more rust in it here. So these are 5 3/4 by 4 3/4. And put this on the front like that. And then on the back side here. Okay. So if you weren't here at the beginning, I showed everything that we've done in the craft along this week. There we go. And then I have two pieces for my sides here. Not that one. Here we go. This one and this one. Okay. And both of these are, I know they're 4 3/4 inches tall and they're 1 3/4 inches wide. So it's going to go right here on the side of the bottom side panel. This is a very finished box, and I really love that about it. It gives a very finished look when you're done. So I announced that I have a special guest coming to craft with me this afternoon. Been begging me all summer long, and we're going to do a little kit together. And if you would like to join us and pop in and say hi, I'm pretty sure she would love that. Okay, so there's our box bottom. Do you guys like that? Okay, now our box top, I have another one that's 1 7/8 by 5 3/4, and it's going to go right here on the top of our box. And I'm going to use the other side of that same DSP for my top and bottom. Now you can use whatever DSP you want. If you don't want to use the tractor, the farm looking patterns, use the red and green and make it a Christmas gift. That's fine too. Okay, now I have 2 long strips and 2 short strips. Both of these are 7/8 by 5 3/4. These two pieces are. So I'm going to put those on the long sides. And right here. And then 2 over here. How many of you have tons of these backings of the DSP hanging around your house? I don't know about you, but I put them all in a bin and think I might need that someday. And then Jen created this awesome box with those pieces, and I'm so thankful because I will be able to make a lot of boxes. Now for the end tabs here, these are 1 7/8 by 7/8, okay? Or 2 by 7/8. They're 2 by 7/8. So I'm going to put these right here. And flip it over and put it on the other side, and then our box part is done. Okay. Our box is now complete. Hi, Viv. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad you're here. Um, okay, so here's our box. Isn't that cool? Okay, so the box itself is not crazy hard. There is a lot of stamping and die cutting. Okay, so I'm going to grab my white paper and I'm going to show you what you need to stamp. Okay, so we're going to start with our tractor pieces, and they are going to be in garden green. So you need the front of the tractor, the driver's seat. Okay, I'm going to stamp it in garden green right there. Awesome. I love a green tractor, right? Isn't there a song about a green tractor too? I believe there is. Little green tractor. Something about my little green tractor. I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up. Okay, here's the bottom of the tractor. There we go. You're going to need some wheels in black. And the wheels that you need are 1 large and 3 small. So you would get your black and you would stamp 1 large and 3 small. Okay. Then we need 2 hay bales, and we're going to stamp that in Daffodil Delight. So one here. Maybe stamp another one over here. I'm trying to utilize my paper as much as possible. Okay, we need a bird in real red. So I'm going to stamp my cardinal, my little bird. It wouldn't have to be a cardinal in red. It could be a blue bird if you wanted it to. Okay, putting that right there. I need what else? Lots of corns. Okay, so, and my pumpkins. I need my pumpkins and my corns here. So, I'm going to take my trees off. I'm going to put my pumpkins on. My pumpkins are going to be stamped in Timid Tiger. So, let's see, maybe down here. Okay, and then lots of corn. So we have 3 corn stalks, all in garden green. And then 3 rows of the corns to put on top of the stalks. And I'm going to do all of those in Daffodil Delight. Okay, so if you're doing this at home with me, crafting along, you might want to take a picture of this because these are all the pieces you need. Big tractor part, trailer part, 1 big wheel, 3 little wheels, 2 haystacks, a bird, some pumpkins, 3 rows of corn, and 3 rows of corns to put on the stalks, okay? Now, if you can imagine how long that would take me to die cut in person on camera, I'm going to save you all that. It took a little bit because you have to go back and forth 3 times for the corn, right? The little corn pieces, the wheels, 2 haystacks. You know, it took a hot minute. I'm just going to tell you that. All right, one more thing you're going to do is you've got a piece of silver foil and a piece of black, and on these 2 pieces, on the silver foil, we're going to die cut our hubcaps, and then on the black, we've got this grill piece, and we have a seat, okay? So I've done that all ahead of time as well, okay? To save us some minutes. So I'm going to put these pieces back on my magnetic plate here, okay? And I'm going to pull out my magic envelope where I've already die cut everything. Look at all those pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to start putting things together here, okay? Got my hay bales, got all these corn pieces. I even cut some additional corn cobs just in case one fell when I was creating it, cutting it earlier. I've got all my wheel pieces here and my hubcaps. There's 2 small silver ones. Here's another small silver one, and I should have 1 large silver one. Yep, right here. Okay, so let's start gluing together. I am going to grab my silicone mat here. Pull that out because I think it's going to help us with these corn stalks and corn. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to grab my silicone mat. I'm going to turn it upside down, my corn stalks, and at the tip of where each of these corn cobs need to go, I'm just going to add a touch of liquid glue to the top of each one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my corn pieces and just, that one had a little too much glue, so I'm going to turn another one over here and put this one here. I picked up a little bit of that glue, so it wasn't quite so much. And this really is the most tedious part, is putting all these corn cobs on top of the corn stalks. Could have done this ahead of time too, but I thought maybe it was worth showing you how it was done, how I did it, and tried to make it simple, right? It's not going to be too bad here. Keep going. Just keep adding corn to my corn stalks. So I have an adhesive pouch sale going on right now. I'm celebrating my 17th stamp-iversary. I can't believe it's been 17 years. Lots happened in 17 years, right? And I'm having an adhesive sale. You get a glittery bag. You get all the adhesives that are stacked inside at a discount, and then I ship it all to you in a cute little glittery pouch. I showed those yesterday at the beginning of my Facebook Live. I didn't want to take the time to do that today because this project takes a bit of a minute, right? Okay, so I'm going to move that over. What a silicone mat does is it keeps the glue from sticking to paper when you have little pieces that need to be glued on like this, all right? You guys still with me, or did you give up? You can always watch replay. Don't give up on me, though. I think you're going to like this project when it's done. It's super cute. Okay, 2 more corns here, and then all the rest of the corns will just be extra. Okay, 1 more here. There we go. Those are our corn stalks glued together. And then what I'm going to do with each of these, see how the glue kind of went through on the other side? And if you were doing this on paper, it would stick to it and maybe tear it. Okay, so here's my corn and my corn stalks. And what I'm going to do is add some dimensionals to the back sides of these. I'm going to put 2 on each one. I think Jim is in the other room eating his lunch, and Rory is barking, saying, "Give me some food." I can hear her barking from in here. Okay, so these are going to go on the top of our box right here. So I've got one right here. Cute. I'm going to put one on the other side. So think of the possibilities here of boxes that you could make for gifts for people. Birthday paper with birthday cards inside. Christmas with Christmas cards inside. So fun. Okay, so here's the top of my box with all my corn stalks on the top. Now I'm going to build my tractors. I don't need any of these extra corns here. I cut more than I needed on purpose because I was so afraid I was going to drop a bunch of them. I'm going to bring back my silicone mat here, and I'm going to start building my tractor. So here's my big tractor and my little tractor. I'm going to add some glue right around the wheel wells here and glue on my wheels that I've cut out, tires, tractor tires. So when I was a teenager, I had a friend that owned a tractor. I don't know if they had a farm or if they, I don't know, maybe they grew hay. And we would take a big tractor wheel when it snowed in Ohio and go to a dam and load up in that tractor wheel and slide down the snowy bank of the dam, and we could all fit in it. It was not at all safe. It was very dangerous. I can't believe we did it. I seem to remember us being very bruised up after it was all over. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that there for a second. We're going to go ahead and take our grill. Did anybody else ever sled with a tractor tire wheel? Maybe that was just a crazy Ohio thing that we did. But I seem to remember it was not the smartest thing I've ever done in my life. All right, so see how that black just adds to that grill? It gives it just so fun, right? Okay, now this little seat here, tractor seat, I'm gonna adhere to the back of my tractor. I'm just going to put a little glue right on the edge of the seat there, and it's going to tuck right underneath here like that. I'm going to grab my pumpkins. They're going to go behind the trailer here like that. So I'm going to add a little glue to the bottom edge here. And just tuck it under here. Oh, wouldn't you know it? It's going to be okay. Dropped it right on top there. Why do the craziest things happen when you're alive? I don't know. Maybe I'm nervous. Maybe that's the reason. Okay, so I don't feel nervous, but maybe I am. I'm going to put a little glue around each of these centers of each of these wheels. Oh, that's even more dangerous, Sharon. So, through the snow. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. How did we ever survive the 70s and 80s? I don't know. Okay, so putting my hubcaps on here, adding a little bling to each of those tires. This is very detailed. And you could obviously make this box as simple or as hard as you want, right? Okay. So, we're almost done. Hang with me. How cute are these though, you guys? You got to admit these are some stinking cute tractors right there. All right, I'm going to stamp on my hay bale two things. One of them's going to say Season's Greetings. And one of them is going to say Hey. Using cherry cobbler right inside. And let me find my hay. Here's my hay. Cute. So Season's Greetings can be pumpkins as well, right? All right, so I'm going to start popping these up on the front of my box here. Let me move all of this up. I'm going to use dimensional, so this is one's going to go right here on this edge. All right. There we go. That one will go right there. All right, now my trailer is going to go right behind it, right here. You might even overlap it just a little bit like that. So even though these are a little fussy, the end results are so fun, right? I love that about this bundle. Sometimes the little pieces, all the little things can get a little overwhelming, but the end result is worth it in the end, right? Okay, so this one is going to go right here next to the tractor, right like that. Got my bird here. Oh, first let's tuck our hay bales in. So Season's Greetings is going to go right here. Maybe a little bit higher. Let me see. That. My hay is going to go in here. Right like that. So let me put a little dimensional on. No, it's kind of stuck to the dimensional of the pumpkin there. That's a good thing. We'll keep that like that. So that's kind of tucked in there. I do want to lift it up just a little bit higher though. Maybe I'll take it off and add a dimensional to the top here. All right. There we go. Cute. And then I've got my bird. I'm going to put a dimensional on the back side of it and pop it up right here on the side of our pumpkins. How cute is that? That's adorable. Now all I need to do is scatter on some of my embellishments here. And I'm going to add one right here. There we go. can add another one up here. And a mini one. Gosh, I don't know. Do I have to stop at 3? I don't have to stop at 3. I can add more. Let's put maybe another one right up here on the pumpkin. There we go. How cute is that? Do you guys like this? And so fun thing, like I said before, is you can grab a bunch of cards. Maybe I'll grab my Jolly Holly ones over here. It'll hold probably 6 cards and 6 envelopes. Maybe 8 cards. So they all just fit right inside, right? Of course, I would not put Jolly Holly in the tractor, but you could. And voila, it all fits inside. So cute. So here's our projects for today. We have our fun fold card. Geez, oh, I know why I can't find it, because I put it inside my box. There we go. Here's our fun fold card. There's our box. And here are our other 2 tractor cards in this series. So fun, right? Do you guys love these projects? Which is your favorite card? They're all pretty cute, and the box just makes it all go together in a fun way. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this craft along. I will put all the links to all the stuff. I know, it is quite the tractor. You're right. You're right, Jan. I agree. So, thanks for joining me for the last 4 days. It's been fun being here. I hope you have liked the projects, and I know it's a fun gift. I agree, Jan. It's going to be so fun. It is a little bit of work, I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like it's worth it in the end. If you would still like to get a craft along kit, the link will be in the description, as well as the link to the adhesive pouch, the link to the You Are God's Masterpiece class that's coming up, and the link to the Jar of Joy next craft along that is coming up in August. So God bless. Thanks for joining me, and tune in at about 2 this afternoon, maybe 2:30, for a special guest that wants to do a Facebook Live with me today. So if you have a chance, just pop in and say hi. So God bless. I'll see all of you soon, and I so appreciate you being here. Such a blessing to my life. Give me so much purpose and community, and I'm so thankful for all of you. I want you to hear me say that. So bye-bye. We'll see you soon.